Vernon Foster from VernonFoster.net, and I'm here to tell you guys about a new video series that I'm going to be doing. So, I was talking to a friend. I've been talking a lot about following your Dharma. I've said previously in other videos that this is something that I feel like is my jam. I feel like this is my medium. This is where I have the ability to make impact on millions. So, I'm going to keep doing videos like this. So, one of my friends, Alex, suggested that I be more consistent with the actual content that I put out. And it's not just hit or miss. And when I say consistent, it's not in terms of the video, like putting out videos, because I've already committed to that, but in terms of just giving you guys something that you can look forward to and that has a theme around it. So I'm going to be doing this thing called Sunday Journal. And I don't share much about what's in this actual journal, so it's usually sacred. It's usually something that I hold near and dear to my heart. But I believe that being more vulnerable allows me to help you and help me, and I'm here to serve. So, what you're going to be getting out of this is just some insights on things that I've went through in my life, some things that I would like to share with you now that I'm at this point, and I'm more comfortable with just being open. Like I said, I feel like you guys can get a lot of this. So, well, first thing I'm going to talk about is a story in here of a lady that I met, and I'm going to try to keep this very brief. So, I met this lady when I was in, it wasn't Starbucks, it was actually Panera Bread one night, and she told me that she was buying a ticket online, and I'm like, oh, okay. So I got to start talking with this lady, and it comes to find out she's from Sweden, and she had for the last past 7 years she had known that she wanted to do this, but she was working in the solar and I guess energy business. She was working with a very big corporation, and there she was working on big projects and infrastructure. And she said that she had known her whole life that she had wanted to do something, but in particular the last 7 years, she's been really, she's been really like kind of basically on the line, towing the line to trying to decide if this is something that she should go for. And she said that she decided that she was finally going to go for it. She didn't know, if the people where she was going was going to accept her, the natives, the villagers, but she was going to go ahead and move forward with it anyway. And when we got to talking, she was like, "Well, you know what? You're lucky. You're a lucky guy because you figured it out at such a young age that you probably shouldn't be doing shit that you don't want to do for people that you don't even really care about and that aren't doing anything great in the world either." And I was like, "Oh, that sounds all beautiful and all, but that's not really the scenario. I mean, I feel like I'm pulled in multiple directions every day." But she told me about the inciting incident. There was actually two stories that stuck out that I feel like you'd get value here from. She was actually in Morocco with her three daughters, and they had went into this town, and this town was basically, it was a lush oasis with vegetation and all this stuff around it. And as she started to walk through the town, she got to the outskirts, and there was another town on the outskirts, and she was stunned by what she found. I mean, she was flabbergasted because what she found was that on the outskirts of the city, it was basically almost a ghost town. Everyone had started to leave, and she asked the guy, what was going on. Well, what was the situation? They had water. They had a hydroelectric plant in this town where they were at, and there's plenty of water. Hence the vegetation. Everything was blossoming and blooming. But on the outskirts of the city, where there was poorer communities and poorer people, they didn't really have water, right? And so she asked the gentleman who I guess was giving her the tour or whatever, and he said that the water level is actually only 25 feet down. And she's like, "What? What do you mean the water level's only 25 feet down? That's crazy. These people are like leaving their homes because they don't have water." And she was like, "Why aren't you drilling? Why aren't you, drilling down into the surface and you're helping these people?" And she said, and the guy replied, "Is that we don't understand. We don't know how." And I think that was the inciting incident for her to get off her ass, so to speak, and really just make it happen. And there's another story that I thought was really interesting. She often frequents northern Brazil, and her family goes to this bar in northern Brazil, just off I think somewhere in the Recife area. And she said there's a bar that she frequents, and at this bar she goes to, there's a little boy that would come there every day, and he would, when he came there, he would bring 3 peanuts, and he'd sit them down by each of the patrons of the bar, each of their drink. He'd set down 3 peanuts, and on the way to doing this, he would actually carry his little sister with him. Young boy, probably no more than 6 or 7 years old. He would carry his little sister with him and set her in this boat and give her a mirror, and she would sit there and play all the rest of the day. Well, they would eventually eat the peanuts, and when they would eat the peanuts, he'd come by and bring them a bag to sell them a bag of all the peanuts, and he would do this to from like, I guess, somewhere from like 7 to 11 o'clock at night, and then he'd go get his little sister and pick her up and carry her home while she was sleeping. And one thing that she said here that really was interesting to me, that I thought was important, is that she was saying that sometimes we just need to show up. We just need to go. We don't need to send an email. We don't need to call. We just need to go where we feel like our mission and who we want to serve, and just show up and see if they're a good fit or not. See if it's going to work. And this is actually something that we don't do a lot, right? We There's two, like, I guess, takeaways in the story here. The first one is that, this lady has spent her whole life. I mean, she was probably in her, I would say, late 40s, probably mid 40s. She had lived a really good life. I mean, she had 3 beautiful daughters. She had traveled a lot. I mean, she wasn't lacking, right? She was from Sweden, great country. She wasn't lacking, but inside her soul there was something missing, deep down inside her soul. And she said that she was a coward for not doing that. She said that she didn't have the courage, and she actually made a joke. She was like, well, when I was telling her the struggles that I was going through and kind of juggling my life in between money and purpose and passion, and figuring out what I want to do, and who I want to impact and the legacy I want to leave, she was like, well, you don't want to put it off too long. She told me to explore it further, but you don't want to put it off too long. And she even made the joke, as she said that, you could be like me if if you wait too long, jokingly. So, she said don't wait, don't wait till it's too late. Don't be a coward, just take action. So I think that's a great story. That inciting incident really, I feel like, is what set her on fire to do that. And then the other thing is just showing up, right? We get this idea that we have to email people, or we have to call, or we have to send a package, or run a Facebook campaign, or put them in a funnel. But why not just show up at their door? When's the last time you showed up at somebody's door and was like, hey, I'm here. This is my plan. This is what I plan to do with you. Let's see if it works. Because I think that really moves people to action. That really shows that you give a damn when you show up on somebody's doorstep and you're ready to work with them. So those would be the 2 takeaways today. I want to tell you guys, I've recorded about 28 videos like this, and I'm giving them away to anybody 100% for free. I don't want anything. I just want you guys to have a better life. I want you to live more purposefully. I want you to live with passion, and I want you to have a mission in life to give back. So if you want that video course, it's 100% absolutely free. I don't get anything. It's just for me to inspire you, to encourage you in a world where there's so much negativity, in a world where there's nothing, when there's not enough of this, when there's not enough people, when there's not enough of this shit in your news feed, and everybody's talking about what's going on in the news and celebrities. These will be videos that you can have to just focus, to get back to the true essence of what it means to be human, and to give, and to go through this life, and try to figure out the journey. So you can get that at vernonfoster.net/better life. Again, that's vernonfoster.net/better life. I want to thank you guys for checking out these videos. I'm going to be doing these every Sunday. The Sunday Journal is going to be what you're going to see. I'm going to be getting, there's some real deep stuff in here that I haven't really shared with anyone, like not even my family, girlfriends, ex-girlfriends, anybody. And I think that this is my way of serving you, of serving the world, just being 100% open and vulnerable. And I hope you guys enjoy it. See ya.